Hello folks, welcome to our first modern round of the week where we have footage from our 1K that we held on Saturday, November 27th. I think that was the day. Anyways, we have Lauren Scarpa on the left playing Is It Affinity, or as we lovingly like to refer to it as, Robots. And on the right we have Alex Firegang playing Jund Shadow, which is a deck I like a lot as well. Lawrence putting the, I don't know the name of the artifact, the indestructible artifact lands, like by heart, but he put the red blue one into play, and then we have a Memnite, an Ornithopter, a Welding Jar, and it looks like a Frognark. Alex is just gonna Thoughtseize, hit a Galvanic Blast. Lawrence that is a good turn, man. And he's got a Bauble Trigger. It's interesting he decided to go with Jund Shadow here. I know Grixis Shadow's been popping up more and more lately, and we might see that in one of the other rounds that we record. He's going to attack in for 4. Or 3. The frog's a 2-2. Alright, there's a Sojourner's Companion. He's got that the D&D book cover treasure vault in there too, which is an artifact land, surprisingly. The regular version of that card does not look like an artifact. It looks very similar to just a generic land, and it used to always like mess with me, seeing it just like pop up in those decks, or seeing it in Commander. Alright, Alex is going to fetch a shock, grabbing an Overgrown Tomb. And we're going to see a Death Shadow come out. Double Death Shadow coming out. So, not bad. We got 2 1-mana 4/4s right now. Using those nice big dice to represent the power and toughness. He's got a Ragavan and an Unholy Heat. Alright, the Sojourner is going to attack in. Going to trade with the Death Shadow. Lawrence is just going to play another one. Going to... Do we have Delirium? I guess we did. Alright, he's going to target the Sojourner's Companion with the Unholy Heat. Lawrence is just going to sack the Welding Jar to give it Regenerate. Alright, shocks in. Goes to 7. Death Shadow gets 2 points bigger. Plays a Ragavan. I like the diversity that comes with playing Death Shadow decks, right? Like, here's another Frognark. Because there's 3 ways really to build them. I mean, you have like there's a Rakdos version that I'm not terribly fond of, like for Death Shadow. I think there's a really cool Rakdos deck in the format though, which Doomwake has been playing on stream a lot lately. If you haven't. Maybe not a lot lately, but he streamed it, and I think he just uploaded a YouTube video about it. And it's pretty cool. It's like Rakdos Evoke. Here's a Welding Jar. Lawrence really hurting for an Urza Saga right now. I mean, if he got an Urza Saga, it would be massive for him. At this point, you can't really attack into anything, but he could. I mean, if he attacks into if the Frognark's the Memnite and the Sojourner's Companion, if Alex blocked out, he blocks the 4/4. Ragavan probably blocks one of the 2s. Takes 3 damage, goes to 4. It's not great. But yeah, the Jund variant of the deck gets you access to other beaters like Tarmogoyf and stuff in the sideboard, I'm assuming. And then the Grixis variant of the deck gets you a lot of fun cool stuff, like Dress Down, which is a hell of a card comboed with Death Shadow. Nothing quite like your 1-mana 13/13 actually being a 1-mana 13/13. I have the deck lists from the event too, so I'm going to take a look through and see if we can find some cool green cards in Alex's deck. Alright, we got Lawrence right there. Alright, plays out another Death Shadow using the Lair's ability. Alright, so we're going to attack, stack it into the 8. An 8/8 and a Ragavan. I enjoy looking at. There it is. I say what people name their stuff. It's very interesting. Alright. So we have both deck lists for it. Let's see what we got. So in the sideboard for Alex here, we have the Lurrus, 2 Gullikin's Command, 2 Torok Dread Cantor, 1 Terminate, 1 Croxa, 3 Nile Spellbomb, 1 Alpine Moon, 2 Engineered Explosives, 2 Chalice of the Void. So nothing in the sideboard that really requires green. And then in the main board, we've got 4 copies of Tarmogoyf. And I think that's it. Yeah, none. He's got 2 copies of Mutagenic Growth, which means technically green, but I'm pretty sure every time you're just gonna pump 2 life into that effect. Alright, so Alex is gonna take game 1, just due to a massive amount of damage on the board due to the Death Shadows. So we'll be right back with game 2. In just a hot second. Okay, and we're back with game 2. Lawrence will be on the play this time. And I'm taking a look over here at Lawrence and Alex's deck list, just seeing maybe what they could have brought in. Lawrence sideboarded 3 copies of Metallic Rebuke, 2 Etch Champion, 2 Experimental Frenzy, 1 Tormod's Grip, 1 Relic of Progenitus, 2 Dispatch, 1 Aethersworn Canonist, and 3 Magnetic Theft. That was his whole sideboard. I wouldn't be surprised if he brought in the dispatches to deal with creatures. The Tormod's Scripts and Relic of Progenitus are interesting. They deal with Delirium with an Unholy Heat. I don't know if we saw a Dragon Spirit channel yet or not. But, yeah. You could put Metallic Rebuke in just for counterspell stuff. I think that's really all he needs. Realistically, like, the card that's going to carry him in this matchup is Urza Saga. So, I mean, that's what he found. And then, as for Alex, probably brought in the copies of Cooligan's Command just to start shattering artifacts and killing other stuff. The Terminate's probably pretty decent. And then I would assume the Alpine Moons and Engineered Explosives came in. The Chalice of the Void is also an interesting option, because you could bring it in and just put it on 0 and hope, especially if like you drop it early enough. And Alex is up a game, but I think if I were Alex and I had like lost game 1, what I would have done is definitely bring the Chalices in. That way you can try and stick them turn 1, and hope Lawrence kept a hand full of 0 drops. All right, so we got a 2/2 Death Shadow coming out. And now we have a Construct coming out that's going to be a 4/4. Yeah, it's a Glimmer Void. Glimmer Void is not an artifact land. Right. I imagine Lawrence is going to make another Construct here in response to the trigger. Not really a reason not to. Getting effectively a 3-mana 5/5 that becomes a 6/6 in just a hot second. It's pretty solid. Yep. And then we're going to sack it off. Now he has a slew of artifacts he can go get with the Urza Saga. Like, disgustingly high number of artifacts that he can get. As I say, Shadow Spear is probably the one he would want to get. Lifelink and Trample is a really good thing in this matchup. It's also just really good in general. If you guys haven't played an Urza Saga before with like a Shadow Spear in your deck, it's wild. It's so good. I mean, if he has a land for turn, he can equip it. Yep, there's a land for turn. And it's an artifact. That's the best thing. I like robots, man. This deck's cool. It's also very fun to play. And really cheap. Alright, we're going to Springleaf Drum the Mend Knight, tap, equip the Shadow Spear to the one that can attack this turn, which is now a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. It's a 9/9 because of the spear giving it 1. So if Alex takes this, he goes to 2. Lawrence will go to 29. Alright, just choosing to take it. I mean, he has an 11/11. She could make a 12/12. The problem is he's not getting through the construct. Or killing him. If he has another Death Shadow, he can... it looks like his hand... Does he have 3 lightning bolts? Or is that 2 bolts and a heat? Looks like 2 bolts and a heat, yeah. So, kills the active one. Passes. Yeah. Here's a Thought Monitor to draw 2. Drew an Ornithopter and a Frognark. There's the Frognark. There's the Ornithopter. Artifact land for turn. So it's going to go to an 11/11. Or 12/12 because of the Shadow Spear. Yep. And Alex is going to scoop up. And we're going to be heading over to game 3 with Alex getting on the play. Maybe those Chalice of the Voids will come in. Alright, folks, we're back with game 3. Let's see if Alex can find some of his sideboard cards. Alright, gonna fetch and shock. As one typically does with Jund Shadow. Or any Shadow deck, really. And he's gonna turn 1 Thoughtseize. Going down to 15 life. Urza Saga, Thought Monitor, Galvanic Blast. Is that a Relic? The blue-white Artifact Land. And then Treasure Vault. I feel like you take the Galvanic Blast here. I mean, he's not really afraid of the Relic of Progenitus. He's not too graveyard based. We haven't seen any Dragon's Rage Channelers yet, so I doubt it's that important to him. I mean, yeah, it kills Unholy Heat, which sucks, but it takes the Thought Monitor. Alright, tap land and pass. Yeah, I think I would have taken the Galvanic iteration. The Thought Monitor is dangerous at all, because, like, if he can turbo out the artifacts if he can turbo out any of the artifacts, that means he can play for cheaper. But the thing is, he doesn't have that many in his hand at the moment. Alright. Draw. Shocks at the Stomping Ground, plays a Tarmogoyf. I'm going to go down to 13. Though, it is a cute interaction, because... Oh. Yeah, 2 artifacts on the board. Interesting he chose to tap the colored source for it. Alright, Relic's going to exile a card, or target Alex to make him exile a card from his graveyard. There are 4 types in the grave right now. Now there are 3, but Thought Monitor being an artifact creature does help with the Tarmogoyf math a lot. Alright, Foothills into play. Imagine we'll be seeing a fetch and a shock here. That way he can play the Death Shadow in his hand. Alright. Fetches and just buys lures. Okay. Alright, Lauren's gonna put that Saga to 2. Charge wanted to play. We have 4 artifacts. If he wanted to, he could. Not really a reason to do anything. Just make a construct during Alex's turn, really. Could tap the relic. What he should do is tap the relic, target him. That way he can get rid of the Thought Monitor. That way the Tarmogoyf becomes a 2/3. I'm pretty sure Relic says target player. Let's see. Let's check TCG player. Relic of Progenitus. Yep, target player removes a card in his or her graveyard from the game. I was going to attack in. Rock's going to exile another card. I mean, just think if he decides to make a construct here and unblock the Tarmogoyf and open it up to it getting shot down by something. Alright, so he's going to bolt Lawrence, which will then grow the Tarmogoyf because it's another type of the graveyard. Why did he go from 14 to 10 there? Did they... Oh, he might have gone from 17 to 14 to 10. He's taking the Tarmogoyf damage. It says Death Shadow, Temur Battle Rage, Lyris, and K Command. He has a gold card in his hand. I imagine it's Kulgan's. Alright, Construct. Ooh, he drew a Cranial Plating too. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Cranial Plating makes your stuff massive. Currently, he has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, yeah. 3 mana 5/5 is pretty solid. Especially when you can do it again and make them 6/6s. And then trigger and they get their 7/7s. Wild. I love Versus Saga. Like I know people aren't a fan of Versus Saga. And it's not as clamored for a ban as it used to be, I feel like. Like the set released and people were like, yo, Versus Saga needs to go. Now. But yeah, I enjoy the card a lot. It's very fun to play with. It's probably pretty annoying to play against, depending on the deck. Like I know Alex wasn't in love with dealing with the constructs, but I mean it's cool. Has plays in a couple different decks, like Amulet Titan plays it. Affinity obviously plays it. Various other random things in the format play it. So, like the food deck. Food's not really prevalent right now, but it's still there. It still plays it. We have a couple food players at the local, so. We are deliberating on what we want to get. Now he did thumb that, yeah, as I say, he thumbed that Aether Spellbomb to the front of the deck. Which feels correct to me, yeah. One mana removing annoying creatures, pretty solid. Alright, so if he cracks in for 7 here, he could fetch shock, go to 7, make... Makes the Death Shadow a 6/6. Is there a way for him to do more damage to himself? I don't think so. Not that he really needs to. I mean, he just plays Luris and then plays it out again. He also has the Kolaghan's command, so. The problem is Decay command doesn't do enough here, I don't think. I mean, you could Shatter Shock, but the Shock's not going to kill anything. You could Shatter Discard. Shadow Return the Death Shadow. He could Luris instead, and just bring the Death Shadow back. Ooh, the second copy of Temur Battle Rage, not helpful. Alright, we're gonna fetch. Just go to 9. Just go to 9. Almost said 19. Right, plays out the Luris. Then, yep, plays that Shadow back out and passes. Alright, we're gonna see the Galvanic Blast come out. Oh, he's gonna Spellbound the Luris. Okay. Darksteel Citadel. He could Galvanic Blast a Death Shadow here and then just attack in for a chunk of damage. But Alex is, yeah, Alex has to double block here though, because if one gets through, then he dies to the Galvanic Blast. Here's a Cranial Plating. Alex draws a Shockland, goes to 7. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything he could do here. His best line of play is play Luris back. Yeah, play Luris back, bring back the Death Shadow. Issue is he could always just lose his graveyard in response to the Luris trying to play the Death Shadow. Yep, and he's going to scoop it up. Alright, folks, Lawrence Scarpa is going to take it 2-1 in round 1 of our modern 1K that we had with a blue-red Affinity. Thank you for watching, folks. More rounds will be posted later, or they're already posted, depending on when you're watching this. Have a great rest of your day.